Hello, everybody, and let's get ready to be educated. Okay, now, today's topic is what is psychology? Well, I'm going to try to give you a little explanation of it because I know that on college campuses today and even in some high schools, they can make psychology very complicated sounding. But you know what? It's not. So, here's a good definition, a very quick definition of what psychology is. It is observing symptoms of a physical malfunction in the brain. That's it. So some people think that psychology has nothing to do with the physical, but it does. The whole reason why, for example, somebody has narcissistic personality disorder. The reason why they have narcissistic personality disorder isn't because they have a bad personality and they need to change their ways, because honestly, if they could change their ways, they would. The problem is they can't because they have a problem in the right prefrontal cortex. And what happens is the part of that brain that makes somebody normal doesn't function properly, which is why they have the disorder. Now see, a psychologist can see that immediately. Unfortunately, there's no fixing narcissism right now, but they're working on it. And that brings us to mental disorders. Now, mental disorders are not always what you think. People think, oh, well, you could change that. You're depressed? Well, just get happy. Well, if it were that easy, don't you think people would? Of course it's not that easy. And as a psychology student or as a psychology professional, you know this. You know this. What is true about mental disorders is they are located in the brain. And what creates the disorder is a dysfunction, malfunction, abnormality in part of the brain. And this causes it to not work right, to not function at all, or to not function to its fullest ability, which is, in the case of, say, narcissistic personality disorder, that part of the brain isn't functioning correctly. It stopped at a certain age, or it just never grew beyond a certain point. And that's why a lot of times the narcissists display the same type of behaviors as a 2-year-old or 3-year-old. Where they say, gimme, 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 mine, mine, mine. That's because that's as far as their brain developed. That isn't their fault, and it's not something that they control. And that is what psychologists and psychiatrists are trying to work to fix. And how are we working to fix this? With the help of neuroscientists. But there's a problem. A lot of psychologists are scared of neuroscience because they're afraid that neuroscience is going to take their jobs, that nobody will care what they have to say because they'll just take pictures of the brain and figure it out for themselves. A lot of psychiatrists refuse to work with neuroscientists. Not all, but many, because they're scared. But there's something that a psychologist can do really, really well that neuroscience can't. And what is that? Diagnosis. A psychologist can pinpoint where the issue stems from. Then a neuroscientist goes in and finds that location in the brain so that they can then work towards fixing that problem so that an individual can become healthy again. So psychology is very important. Don't let anybody ever steer you clear of that. It's very important. It's one of many useful tools to help people get healthy. And that's what we want, isn't it? All right. That's it for today. See you later.